Hey guys, it is Amy with Crafts by Aimee, and of course, I'm still doing stuff on my desk. I had a mini craft lunch with this container, so I'm trying to fix it and put it back where it goes so that it's out of my way. I also need to share myself into my group. But I have a ton of stuff in this basket. I don't even know what's in here anymore. Pirate stuff, nautical stuff. Christmas stuff does not need to be in here. I am trying to make room to put this in here. Because this bin should have enough room for all of this. It's 3 journals, not that much stuff. Or at least you would think that. Stick this on the front. Hey, Miss Bonnie. Okay, I'm sharing myself out. I got distracted. I also need to share myself into my group. Sorry, guys. I had the volume up because I was watching on my iPad. Share to my group. So, get this out of the way. Oh, I could have used this today because it has a bee on it. Because our theme today is June bugs. No, y'all are not falling over. I've had enough of that crap for one day. That over there. Oh, where is... That should be closer to the top. Why is it not? Sorry, guys. Hey, Miss Trudy. Am I crazy? I'm not seeing the group that I'm looking for. There it is. I was looking for Beth's group. Whew. Hey, Christine. Christine is up after me, you guys. I switched places with Michelle because she had a doctor's appointment that she needed to go to, so she said she wasn't going to be home, so I switched with her. My mouth was so dry. So I either got these tags from Amazon or Temu. I don't know which. So I've had them for a while, so it's 5 tags. And I know that a butterfly is not a bug, but it is an insect. So I have these really pretty napkins, and I haven't really done a ton of patriotic crafting this year. So I was thinking of doing this on this napkin and kind of bedazzling it and putting a bow up at the top. I have a second one because I pulled out this bee burlap that I have had for, I don't know, whenever they first came out with it at the Dollar Tree. I bought a bunch of them. So I think I have like 6 of these. So I was thinking about doing that on a second tag. And putting some like ladybugs on it because I do have all my ladybug flower stuff out. So should I do the whole thing or should I just cut out parts of it? Y'all let me know. While y'all are doing that, I'm gonna get my mat back up here because I want to iron this because it's not flat. Hey, Kelly. How are you doing? So I'm just getting my iron and I'm going to iron this so that it is flat because if any of you ever use napkins, you know that when you fold them, they get creases and then they're not straight. So should I use the whole napkin on the tag or should I cut it out and put pieces of the, not pieces, but like pieces of the napkin? I would fussy cut out the butterflies. I am going to iron it regardless of what y'all say, so. Just so y'all can keep seeing it while I am working on ironing it. That's what it looks like. So I'm putting my parchment paper between my napkin and my iron so that my iron does not turn colors because y'all know that happens, right? So let's start over. Hi, I'm Amy, and this is Crafts by Aimee, and welcome to our June Bugs event being sponsored by Crafty Friends Unite. If you're not already a member, you should join. It's a free group where you can watch all of the lives from all of the events, which we host every week. And it's my group, by the way. And so we started off at noon Eastern with Brenda from Be So Crafty, and we go through, you know what? Let me go through the whole lineup because I have it right here on my pad. We started at noon Eastern with Brenda, and then it was Miss Terry with She's Crafty Ranch, Tamara with Crafty Fox Creations by Tamara. You see that? That's why I just need to call her T, because I do that every time. One time I will say Tamara, one time I will say Tamara. So T. Then Tanya with Simply Monarch, who inspired the event. She gave the theme, and I went with it. So no, we are not doing just June bugs, because if you've ever Googled those bugs, they're freaking ugly. Because Tamara asked me earlier if it had to be those specific bugs, and I was like, no, I Googled those things and they're ugly. But there are other bugs that come out during the summer, so. Anyway, before me was Kim's Rockin' Reefs. After me is Christine with I'm Snow Crafty. Then we have Michelle with Miscellany Crafts. Our other Michelle, who I switched times with Bitsy Yaya. Kim with Growing Crafts by Kim. Liz with Making Memories with Liz, and I just realized there's no space there. And Miss Trudy with Make It Personal Kettering by Trudy. So did y'all decide if we should cut the flowers, if we should cut the butterflies out or use them whole? Use the napkin whole. Now let me know on that one. You know what, I'm just gonna leave my iron on because we all know that I'm gonna do the dry method. Regardless of whether I cut the napkin up or use the whole thing. I'm just gonna leave my iron on because I'm gonna need it. So what do y'all think? Whole napkin on the tag and bling it up, or pieces of the napkin that are just some of the butterflies on the tag? And while y'all are thinking about that, I'm gonna paint the tag with plaster from Waverly, which I'm running low on. And I'm running low on my ivory too, so. Both of the not quite white colors are obviously the two colors I use the most. And I am just using a sponge dauber because A, I clean them, and B, they don't leave lines like paintbrushes do. Not that that really matters since I'm going to be putting something on this, but I also feel like it helps smooth the paint out more. I hate having to put this in this jar because the paint's all the way down at the bottom. If anybody has an opinion about the butterflies? I do have some ladybugs to add to it. I do have bugs. I think if I'm going to cut them out, I might do a second coat of the white paint because, well, the off-white paint, because it's not as covered. Yeah, they are ugly little beetles. Yep. Whenever Tanya first said that the April showers bring May flowers and May flowers bring June bugs, I looked up what June bugs were, and I was like, those are ugly. And that's why I made the flyer the way it is with all of the bright critters that are on there. I think, I have a ladybug, a butterfly, a caterpillar, a snail, an ant, a dragonfly. They're all cute creatures. If I had dragonflies, oh look, a craftalanch right across the room. Y'all couldn't hear it because this was on. I had a craftalanch. Okay, Michelle says we should cut it into pieces, so I'm good with that. thought about doing like painting it, but I'm like painting a scenery. But I'm like they're not they're not like normal colors. Like you wouldn't find these butterflies out in the wild. So I'm gonna grab some scissors. And of course, you know, I took my box off of my table. It has everything in it. Because y'all know I only use certain scissors for certain things. So these are my cutting anything besides paper or tape, because I have a pair of scissors that I use for that too. So I think I'm just going to start at the bottom and see what I can find. And kind of just cut out some of the stuff that I'm seeing. I'm not worried about the stars. I can always come back in with ink. I'm pretty sure I have a stamp that is stars. I'm trying not to cut any of the ones that are on the edge in case I want to put a part of one somewhere. So right now we've got 3 different ones. This one's just missing like a little tiny part of it. So technically I guess we could say 4. But I'm just going with the ones that are actually the whole thing. I'm not great at fussy cutting, so this may look horrible at the end of the day. Got very close with the beginning, but now I'm having issues with this part. I have shaky hands. I have no clue what that's about, but whenever I go to share people, I'll go to their page and I'll just hear their opening statement for like a minute, and well, not a minute because I'm not going to wait that long, but and then I have to leave and go back in there. So there is a little bit around the bottom part of this particular butterflies. Okay, screw it. Cutting that off. Body, just because my scissors aren't that great. I do have a pair of small scissors that I could probably use to just nip that in there, but I didn't pull them out of that container. I don't know how many of these I'm actually going to cut out, but my hands aren't that shaky right now, but sometimes they get shaky when I'm doing stuff. And I don't know what it's from, if it's like a genetic thing, or if it's just because that happens after you've been cutting things for a while. I don't know. I'm not saving these tiny little scraps. Yeah. I hate when Facebook... Okay. I know this is multiple layers, and that was just coming apart. So taking that back sheet off of this so I can cut the rest of this butterfly. Make sure it actually gets cut the way I want it to get cut. Again, I'll probably leave a little bit of white around this because I don't want to cut off the antenna. So I'm probably just going to do a quick V. Parkinson's runs in my family. That's why I'm concerned about the shaking thing. It probably isn't that, but I never know. I always think the worst is going to happen. Okay, here's the other layer. It was a 3-layer napkin, but only the first 2 layers came off at the first. So I'm horrible about coming up with crafts that are in my event themes, even though I'm the one that picks the themes. Hey, stop shaking, hand. I don't want to cut the end of this butterfly's wing off. No, this is not matte. It's not a glass thing, but I don't want my butterflies flying away, so I'm just going to try to do that so that that doesn't happen. This one probably won't come apart as easily because it's closer to the edge, and the edge is where it has like a sealer kind of thing. Thanks, Miss Trudy. These were from The Words Will Come Eventually. These were from Home Goods. And I probably should do a napkin sale because I have a ton of napkins. I know everybody's like this. You'll buy the pack and it's like you'll use one out of it. And the napkins in this pack were like 50 of them. And I have given a few of them away. I traded with my friends last year when I went to Michigan. But I still have containers full of napkins. So I feel like I should do a napkin sale. Because I have a bunch of them, especially Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday. So, of course, that's the one I go overboard for. And I have a ton of, like, y'all know those guest napkins? The ones that are tall. They're like the same width as these beverage napkins or cocktail napkins or whatever the package says on them, because different ones say different things. So I have a ton of the beverage napkins because they come out with a lot of those at Christmas time. And I have a Home Goods card, which is, it's really TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and I forget what the other places are. Marshalls, maybe, I don't know. But it's multiple places that you can go, and it's a credit card. It's not a store charge card. So I earn stuff outside of it, and then I go there and spend it on things like napkins and wrapping paper now. Last time I went in there, I had money, and I spent my rewards on some, I think I got 4 rolls of wrapping paper, a few other things. Oh, Lord. Facebook needs to stop. I was having that issue yesterday, and I bet you anything it was because of the update. Because my phone updated yesterday, probably. Because I don't think the update was really from today. People might have noticed it today, but I think it actually happened yesterday. And that's when mine started messing up yesterday when I was watching tomorrow's event. Because I was in her event, and I was watching, and I'm like, people are saying hi to people, but sometimes people will say hi as they see somebody come on. They'll see so-and-so is watching, and they'll say, hey, so-and-so. Well, it turns out that people were commenting, and I wasn't seeing the comments. I was like, this is some BS. But I bet you that's what it's from. It's like they fix one thing and break another thing. Oh. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Michelle. You buy one to decoupage with, and you end up with 50 of them. That's why a lot of people want to do napkin exchanges. And I had thought about doing that. If y'all ever go in Crafty Friends Unite, there's a freaking album on there with a ton of my napkins on there. I scanned them, or I found images of all the ones that I had back then, and I put them in a folder, and we were going to do a napkin exchange, and it just never happened. But I feel like we need to, because, yeah. I have a ton of napkins. And these are like really pretty patriotic napkins, and they're different. That's what I love about Home Goods and TJ Maxx. They always have napkins, and they're always different. It's not like, oh, it's black and white polka dots. No, this is patriotic butterflies or coastal themed, or I'm trying to see what else. I have one that's a pink background with a bunch of like Christmas stuff on it. So yeah, maybe we need to do a napkin exchange before the end of the year. Maybe we can try to do one in like August or something. Also, I'm taking theme requests still. So I try to figure out one for every month with a different person. We have had quite a few that Mary Lou has been the one that picked it out. But that is also because Mary Lou comes up with good themes. And she posts a lot in our group chat where we have the themes. We do have one coming up next month that is inspired by Miss Kim from Kim's Rockin' Wreaths and Home Decor. So she came up with mystical creatures. So that's, I think it's next month. Pretty sure it's next month. And if you're in the group and you haven't signed up for events, there are openings in some of the events still. Sometimes people back out and I don't even know it. I mean, because I check the polls up until pretty much the days I want to. I pretty much check the polls up until the day of the event. So if I look and see that, oh, I had this person on my spreadsheet, but they're no longer in the poll, I will go to the group chat and say something about there being an opening, or if somebody wanted to fill in, if they clicked on being a fill-in, I will either private message them or ask them in the group chat, hey, we need somebody to fill in for this time slot. Are you available? And I think Miss Kelly should join and be part of our poll group because she started doing lives. That's smart, Kelly. And you could actually decoupage on a ATC card because you can paint cards, you guys. They're just like any other surface. And if you're using chalk paint like you would on like a regular surface, you shouldn't have an issue with having to sand the surface first. I know that Kim from Growing Crafts by Kim was doing some bigger cards last night on a live, and she was scuffing them up with the sander so that the paper would stay on them. But if you're painting them, I mean, if you're painting with acrylic paint, you might need to scuff it up some. But if you're doing it with chalk paint of any kind, you shouldn't have to do anything like that. And then you have a background to put a napkin on. But yes, Miss Kelly has started doing some lives. And just so you know, Kelly, I know you've seen our events. We have time slots open through midnight because I am a night owl. Occasionally we will have earlier days where I start these events at like 11 Eastern. But most of the time I don't because I'm not a morning person. It's going to take me forever to do all of these. I'm not cutting out all of them. I'm just trying to get one of each of the different varieties that are on here. So there's one layer. It's usually easier to take the layers off after you've cut it. So now we've got 3 of them. So let's see which one we'll do next. I need one that's all the red. This one. I'll just cut it over here. Let's see, I need this one. This one. I might take a break from cutting these out for a second and glue on the fabric with the bees onto our another tag. That way that can be drying while we cut some more of these out. I'm just folding this up a little bit, putting it over here, putting that with it. I'm just going to stick this under the magnet so that it doesn't fly away. And I'm going to move my excess over there. No, you're not flying away, little butterfly. I'm thinking about going and checking out your pools. Definitely. And I'm going to probably post the polls for September in a couple weeks. I've been trying to post them 2 months ahead so people can plan. So, yeah. So let's see what we're going to do with this. This is the one I was talking about because I am going to glue it down. She has internet. It's just like spotty where she lives because she doesn't live close enough to like a suburban or urban area to have like really good Wi-Fi. So I definitely think I'm going to paint this. Just trying to decide if I want to use plaster or not. And this is from Dollar Tree. Yeah, I think I want to use the plaster. I think that'll make it stand out. So those are just fat quarters. And since I didn't put my paintbrush in water, like I normally do, it's still available to use for this. Also, we also have people that will sign up for events, forget that they signed up and be a no-show, or tell me at the last minute that they can't be in the event. Luckily, Mary Lou asked me far enough in advance and told me she needed to fill in, so we got that situated. And Glenna was like, I'm not going to be home. And I'm like, well, you signed up for the event. So now I was like, then I needed to find it, fill in for her. It's not that big of a deal, but it's annoying. And I'm getting I'm trying to get the flyers done far in advance because everybody always wants to post it, and I don't blame them. They want to post the lineup. Granted, I make the flyer with the save the date. That's just what I call it, but it has like the thing that'll tell you the name of the event and when it is. And I always have that done when I go to post our polls. Those are always there. But the lineups have not so much been available until like if the event's on Monday, I might have it done by Sunday. So I've been working on getting them done. And if I need to make changes to them, they're completely basically finished. I think that I have the next two done for our events. I'm trying to get ahead, so I'll probably work on some of them this weekend. Like I said, I have been checking the polls up until, because I don't know why my event group, I don't have to have, my polls don't close after like 3 days. In other groups, I don't know if it's because they created them before me, their polls closed within like a few days. So somebody will go on there to want to be in an event, and there will be openings, but they can't click on it because it says this poll is closed. So then they comment in the comments, and then the group owner has to be like, okay, and then I find that a hot mess. That's just me. Thanks, Michelle. That's just my opinion, but I'm pretty sure it's a valid opinion. So I'm going to put some water in my little container that I have. I've seen some of these in the Amazon deals. Amazon really didn't have anything yesterday for crafters. Today I did see a few things. So I always put my brushes or my sponges in water. If you put the sponge in water after you've used it, you can pretty much clean it and use it a few more times. Because this one looks brand new almost. And I've used it. So I'm going to get my mop brush that I love to use with my Mod Podge. And I'm just going to swap this out. Because I don't want to put this water on the floor because I don't want it to get knocked over. So we'll do this. We'll get our, of course it's clogged up. See if my little tool is over here that I can open it with. Of course, probably not. I probably put it back where it goes, which means I have to stand up. Yeah, it sucks. I wouldn't trade it though, because I do love having my events. But sometimes it sucks being a moderator or an admin. Just saying. So I do love this little tool. It unclogs my glue. I got it from Temu. I have two of them because I misplaced one of them, couldn't find it, got another one, and then the other one came back. I might do this one wet. Since it's fabric and it's burlap, I might do this one while it's wet. That's why I have so much of this glue on here. I'm thinking that might be the better option. And this is Mod Podge, not glue. A while ago, and I mean a while ago, probably 2 years ago, maybe even more, I bought one of the big containers. I think it was 32 ounces at Walmart because it was on, it's either on clearance or just on a really good sale. And I've been pouring it into this container, and I still have this much left of the 32 ounces. So I obviously don't use it enough to need to refill. I mean, 32 ounces, I've only had to refill it. I haven't had to get a new one. Just put that way, I haven't had to get a new one yet. But this is the end of it. Okay. Probably should have ironed this because it's doing the same thing the other fabric did. I mean, the napkin did, but I don't feel like doing that. I am going to come back and do another coat of it over it. But I want to get it down first. Get it down first and then trim it, and then we'll go over it with another coat of Mod Podge to make sure it stays down. And I might even let that dry and then iron that on to make sure it's flat. This is burlap and it's technically a fabric, but I am not using my fabric scissors, so yeah. I'm just gonna flip this over. I'm gonna use my heavy duty scissors, but I'm just gonna cut around it. You can see right here that it's not staying down there. I will fool with that later. Yeah, it's not staying down right here, so we're just gonna pull it up. Thanks, Michelle. Like I said, it was from the Dollar Tree. It was when they were doing all the burlap stuff, and I bought all of it because that's how I roll. So I have this one. I have the ladybug one. I have all of the patriotic colors, so red, white, blue. I'm trying to think of what else was out at that time, because I have a ton of them. They had some that had black, white, and yellow polka dots that were kind of like the bee. They had, I'm just adding a ton of glue now. What else did they have? They had teal, like teal polka dots. They had stripes that were like pink and teal. I don't feel this coming through the burlap, so I feel like it's thick enough that it needs a lot of this. Like, I feel it a little bit on my hand right there, but that's where it actually got on the burlap. So now I'm just going to come through and do this on the top. And Mod Podge does dry clear, you guys, so it's not like I'm ruining the bees. They're not getting destroyed, I promise. And Kelly, if you ever want to go on one of Glenna's lives in my event, y'all are more than welcome to do a duo with anybody you want. If you sign up for my event and it's your time, it's your time. You can do whatever you want, and like whatever the theme is, as long as you keep with it. I don't mind if somebody does a duo. And if anybody ever wants to do a duo with me because they're like, I couldn't get a time in your event because it filled up, but I really would like to do a live and I could do it at your time, I'm not opposed to doing a duo with somebody that wants to be in my event. I mean, mad props to them. And also mad props to me, because that means that my events are popular enough that they fill up and that people care. I didn't realize that those, I didn't get this part right here on this, because I didn't realize that this was the edge right here. It's hard to see. Okay. I think we're good now with like where the edges are and the glue. Not so much up here, apparently. So it's, with this, it's kind of like work with your glue as you go, because it's not going to stay down easily. A, it's Dollar Tree. B, it's burlap. Burlap does not like to stay down. So I'm just going to move this to the side and let the glue all dry. I'm going to clean this off really quickly. That goes for anybody, not just Kelly. If anybody knows anybody that wants to go live that hasn't gone live before, I highly recommend a duo. That means it takes some of the stress off of them. If they've never done a live, it can be kind of stressful. And if you pick a prime time because you want people to see you, then it's really stressful. I remember my first lives. I was doing the Magnolia stuff back then. I still do Magnolia, I still sell Magnolia, but I was doing lives with my upline from Magnolia. So we were just doing little 30, I was about to say 30 seconds. No, we were doing 30-minute lives with Magnolia stencils. And you had to get, and I have problems getting crafts done. Y'all see that. Most of the time it's because I'm journaling. And journaling does not, it does, unless you're just doing like a tag or something, putting together a journal is not going to happen in an hour. Because that's what I was working on yesterday in Tamara's event, and that didn't happen. Okay, I think that's good enough. We're just going to let it dry for a second. It's dry, I think. And we'll move this back over here and continue cutting out some of our butterflies. And now I've got glue all over my hand. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some of the excess glue off of my trash can underneath the table. And I'm just going to stick this under my cutting mat some so it's not flying away. Cut out this red one. And this is what crafters mean when they tell you move your surface that you're cutting, not your scissors. I mean, right now, obviously, I'm moving my scissors, but not really. I was just moving them down. Because it definitely makes it easier to cut. If you're moving your paper or whatever you're cutting that you're trying to cut smaller stuff off of, this is very much easier than trying to do it all with your scissors moving, because that just is not easy. So move your surface, so because you're keeping the edge of the blade on your whatever you're cutting, and so it's going to keep it steady as you're moving it. It's not going to rip it or anything. You're just keeping your scissors there and it's kind of holding it in place. And you can move your scissors if you need to, like you ran out of room because you're cutting so much and your scissors blade is only so long. Stuff like that. But it is definitely a lot easier. Yeah, I rarely finish crafts in my lives. That's a me thing too, Michelle. Hey, Miss Heather. Heather's another one that she hasn't done any of our events yet either. But I do know that some of them have filled up, and I guess some of the themes are out there and people don't want to do them. I guess people don't want to do space exploration because that one has a lot of openings in it. It could be anything to do with space, you guys. Heck, if you like Marvel movies, you could do Guardians of the Galaxy. They're in space. Just saying. You could do something with Project Hail Mary. That was in space. Now I'm just talking about movies, but you'll get the drift. Now that I have all this glue on my fingers that's dry, I can't get these papers separated. And we all know that there are 3 layers. I need to see if you're in our notification group. Because I have a chat that I post, like, whenever I post all of the polls, I post in the group and say, hey, polls are up. And if I'm doing an event that's inspired by somebody, I try to let them know first so that they can go pick a time since it was their theme that happened. That doesn't always work out, but I've been trying to do that so that it doesn't. I mean, I don't want somebody to get left out of their own event. But if I post the poll and let them know and they don't sign up, and then I tell everybody else and it gets full, I can't really do anything about that. Because Miss Brenda inspired an event and it got full. And she wanted to, she asked me to add an earlier time, but I looked at the poll and I was like, we're going to, oh, and if anybody looks at the polls and sees Chris Campbell on there, she is not going to be crafting for a while. So if you see her name in a spot and it's something that you would like to have, go ahead and click on it, because as of right now, she doesn't know when she's going to be back to crafting because she had knee replacement surgery. Yeah, I know about that with that group. I feel like that's part of the reason that Amanda's never in my events, because I do them during the week and she's in that group. But I do see people that are in that group, or they were in that group. I don't know if they still are. That they've had, some of them have done other group events in the week. I don't know. And I'm just going to tell you right now, Michelle, if you're going in that group for the reason of getting exposure and getting more followers, I can tell you right now, it's not going to help. Because in the last year, I gained a lot of followers. I'm not in Craft Around the Clock as an event person. I don't do crafts with them. And I'm up to 7,500 followers. And I have a friend named Jamie who is in that group, Row 12 Creations. She was at like 5,000-ish when I met her a couple of years ago. And I've already surpassed her in followers, and I'm not in that group. Most of it is through Facebook, and I think some of it was from AIC. Because people from AIC are really great and they follow one another. But yeah, I think that if that's the reason that people are joining it, then it's not really that going to help you that much. I mean, I know Cindy from It's Cindy's Creations. She lost her page and had to restart, and she did get her followers back from that probably. But yeah, Jamie has not. And Jamie's on live at least once, if not twice. If she can get 2 spots on a week, she'll go twice on their thing. She's not in my events anymore. She didn't even do my breast cancer event, which I thought was weird. But I guess she was busy. But that was on a weekend. That was like a Friday, Saturday thing. But I do know that Craft Around the Clock does do weekend events as well. But I'm just telling you right now, I don't know if it helped Amanda, but Jamie has not. I have more followers than Jamie. I'm just going to say that. And I don't go out looking for followers. Like, I haven't finished any. For anybody that has a business page, they have this thing you can go to, Professional Dashboard, and it gives you things to do each week. And I have not finished a task completely since I got to the one where you need to do a ton of reels. Because I don't do a ton of reels. I do a ton of lives, but they want you to post like 15 to 30 reels a week. And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. I don't do that. So it doesn't help you get to the next level, but when you get to my level of followers, I am now an Amazon influencer. I have a page and it's on my link tree. So if there's ever anything you see me using that you know, like my glue gun, and I've said it's from Amazon, I can get you the link. And I make like a tiny commission. But also I know from past experience with them, if you do not sell stuff within a first 90 days or something like that, they will take you out of the program. Trying to see if there were any other butterflies on here that I didn't use. I think these are all of them. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to put Mod Podge over the whole thing, dry it, place these, and use the iron on it. And iron it. We'll iron them down. So we are just going to glue the whole thing. Yes, I am going to use the brush that I was using before. I put it in the water so that the glue would not dry in it. Yeah, the task goals are crazy. Sometimes I'll meet every one, and that'll be the only one I don't meet, is the one where it's like, post 30 reels this week. And I've tried, like with doing tags and stuff, or just trying to do a reel where I'm like making a hidden paper clip, or when I was doing all of those flowers with the paper, making one of those, or I did one with the stamps that I was filling in with the fashion stamps I have, and how I was cutting them out and doing those. But it's hard to do 30 of those in a week. I mean, if you do 7 events, you've got 7 reels because you can share them as reels. But that's all you have and you need 30. That's not easy by any means. But I looked into Craft Around the Clock and I just couldn't commit to that. I read this stuff about it and I was like, it's just not for me. But props to those that want to be in that group. I know it's a big group. I want to make sure all of my glue is dry, guys, before I start placing these butterflies. If it's not dry, you could do another coat of paint with a different color and end up with crackle. I've unintentionally gotten crackle before. And there is glue all around the edge, so I'm just going to grab a towel. Lift this up. It's mostly at the top where the glue is around the edge. But I just want to make sure there's not a... I use Canva when I did my reels because it's easy to edit it in there. And if you do want to do a voiceover, like if I film myself doing this, you can speed it up. And if you're not talking while you're doing a craft by yourself, or if you're listening to music when you're doing a craft, and you know, obviously Facebook frowns upon music because of copyright issue thing. But you can extract the sound from it in Canva and then do a voiceover yourself for Canva. As you're letting it play, it'll play the video and you can do a voiceover. I do it on my computer, but I'm sure you could probably do it on a phone or an iPad or any kind of tablet you have. So this is all dry now, but it's not smooth up in this corner for some reason. Oh well. Okay. We're gonna put these on here. Just spread them out. No, they're not gonna stay down right away. And one of them looked like it bent in half. Yep, it did. I was so worried about that happening, but oh well, it happened. And of course they're gonna fly away. Okay. Y'all are gonna stay where you are. I'm gonna get the iron that's still hot. And iron them. Now I'm turning it off because it's really hot. And yes, it did reactivate. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that, Heather. It did kind of reactivate the glue a little bit in the spots where the napkin wasn't, but I'm okay with that. It didn't do anything bad. So let's add some bugs to this. So this is my collection of bugs that I have. I might come in with some chalk teak. How? It just slammed on my finger. It's distress paste, and I might distress the edges because it's kind of funky looking right now. These are all my little bugs that I have. This container I think I got from probably Hobby Lobby because I get a lot of stuff from there. So I have these ladybugs that are kind of big. I have these that are push pins that are smaller. And I can cut the push pin part off because I will pick that up after my live. I mean, it's not going to be completely flat, but it's flatter than it was. And if it has glue under it, it's going to be higher anyway. So I have those, or I have these little tiny ones from Hobby Lobby. I also have some ones that are buttons like these and these that we can cut the flat back part off of. So let's see how this is going to do. Sometimes when you cut flat backs off, depending on how they're made, they can come apart. Just letting y'all know that. Ask me how I know that. I mean, we can use all different sizes. I don't like these little, it's for giving you 3D. It's the little foam pop-up thingies. I don't like them. I don't use them. I always pull them off the back. So what do y'all think? These, I think, are almost the same as these. Should we use all the different ones? Should we keep using the same ones? The same sizes? While y'all are doing that, I'm getting my glue tool, which I was telling Kim about. They do make a full-size version. I use the half-size the small sticks, but I do have both of them. This is the full-size one. This one just takes a little longer. I think it takes two minutes to heat up, whereas this one only takes like 40 seconds. So it's really not that long. Putting that back in my water. I will go clean that after I share out Christine. And I do have bees. I could have put bees on there. I have the mini bees. These are also, I think, from the Hobby Lobby, but I was trying to keep in theme with the red, white, and blue. I know that they're black and red, but what do y'all think? Should we do it like this? I'm thinking yes. And I'm just using a little bit of hot glue. And they don't need to be facing the same direction. And then I think I'm going to come in with some twine for my hanger. I have some jute twine, and I might put a couple beads on it to make the tag a hanger. And then this one is the biggest one. It's a flat back though, but I like this. What do y'all think? I know it's I could actually come in here and put some stamps. That was just my stuff. That was just my thing. You know, parchment paper. Good Lord. So I do have inks. Let's see which one's in here. I could do it with this one. This one's called Cobalt. So I could come in with my stamps and do the lettering. Sorry guys, I had to get up to get my stamps. Because they're underneath a few things. I also have these, but I think these are too bright. Sorry this is taking longer than it should to get these stamps. And I actually did put my other clickables together. They're in my room. So we will just use these big ones and do USA down the middle. S and U. And if y'all like this color ink, I could do yes, I could put flowers on there because I have like these blue flowers. I could take some of those off and put that on there. I'll finish this up. Let me go pull up Christine. So I want this to be okay. It's a little wonky looking because of the glue, but it'll be fine. Let's see, S. could also look to see what I have in my paper flowers. Yes. No, it is not straight. I'm not going for straight. The butterflies aren't straight. Why would the letters be straight? They're spaced out unevenly and they're not straight. And I will clean these off in a second with a baby wipe, because that's how I roll. My ink back on. Oh, I was gonna say I could put this around the edge of this. What do y'all think? Should I go get the distressing, or should I use the ink? Y'all let me know. Should I use the blue ink or go get my distressing paste, which is brown, to make it look more vintagey? Yeah, that would be a good one to sign up for if you have so much stuff from that. So I'm going to go, guys. I will be live again tomorrow with a patriotic craft and another event and another group. So I will see you guys later. Let's go watch Miss Christine. Bye, guys.